Limits, Part 5, One-sided limits to infinity. Generally speaking, when we have one-sided limits to infinity, we're talking about vertical asymptotes, or what happens to the graph as we're getting close to the vertical asymptote. So if I take the look at the limit as x goes to a from the negative or less than side or the left, they all mean the same thing, of f of x. Notice as we're approaching the x equals a from that side, y is shooting down to negative infinity. And if we were to approach x equals a from the greater than side or positive side or from the right of our function value, as we're doing that, y is going up to positive infinity. We're going to do a few very quick, very simple algebraic examples using one-sided limits that go to infinity. Let's start with the limits x goes to 1 from the negative side of 1 over x minus 1. Whenever I have limits, I like to directly plug in that x value, so I get 1 over 0. Now, that's infinity as written, or we would think so, but is it 0 from the positive side, or is it 0 from the negative side? Because that will make a difference with the value of our answer, really the sign of our answer. Well, x going to 1 from the less than side is a number like 0.999. So if I were to plug in x equals 0.999, I would get 1 over 0.999 minus 1. And I could keep adding keep adding nines and nines and nines, but the point is that I'm getting close to 0, but the number, the value in the denominator, will always be negative. So this would be the correct answer, if you would, which is a positive 1 over a negative 0, or really 1 over 0 from the negative side, which gives us negative infinity. Why is it negative? Because positive over negative gives us negative. How about the limit as x goes to 1 from the positive side of, say, x over x minus 1? A direct plug-in gives us 1 over 0 again. But 1 from the positive side will be a number like 1.001, really with a lot more zeros. So if we plug in x equals 1.001, we get that over 1.001 minus 1. Now, the top doesn't really matter. That's going to go to 1. We just don't want it to go to 0. So it's about 1. And the bottom is really close to 0. But it doesn't matter how many zeros I add in here. This value on the bottom will be positive. So we get 1 over 0 from the positive side, or positive over positive, giving us positive infinity, because 1 over 0 is going to infinity. Final example. What if we have the limit x goes to 1 from the negative side of, say, negative x over x minus 1? Again, 1 from the negative side is something like 0.999 with a bunch more nines, but that'll suffice for us. Because if I do a direct plug-in with x equals 1, I get negative 1 over 0. But now let's plug in with 0.999, and we get 0.999, which is negative, over 0.999 minus 1, which gives us about negative 1 on top. and gives us about 0 on bottom, but from the negative side. 1 over 0 is infinity. Negative over negative gives us positive. So our final answer is positive infinity.